Okay, guys. Okay, so far whatever we have learned is all about the static inventory, right? So the static inventory, where the hosts and the server details we keep are static, we never change automatically or never change dynamically. So what you have to do if is required any changes to the inventory list, the host list, we have to go to the inventory and change the servers accordingly and then execute the playbook. So it will be good if you have the on-premises servers, suppose 20, 30 servers you have the list of the servers and you want it to execute the playbooks or execute the automations on those list of the those few list of the servers, then you can go with static inventory. But when you have the virtual machines, if you are working on the cloud machines, and if you have like auto scaling is set off and you never know when your host may get changed, right? Suppose you get a new host created automatically by the auto scaling group by or you created one host, you don't have to change it or no, manually come to static inventory and change it. So with the help of dynamic inventory, we can achieve this one, like automatically the inventory list will be get added within a new server, which is required to be automated, right? The things which needs to be, the playbook needs to be executed. So what is the dynamic inventory? So once you complete this dynamic inventory, then we'll go directly and complete the project today itself. So Ansible project will complete by today itself, okay? So dynamic inventory, if your Ansible inventory fluctuates over time, as I just said, if you want that to be added automatically, if there is a fluctuation, you don't know when there will be a server to be added, and you've got some heavy load of customer, and you know the load time is increased, and you need another service to be scale up. So what you can do, you can go with this dynamic inventory. Okay, so if your Ansible inventory fluctuates over time with hosts spinning up and shutting down in the response of business demands as part of your auto scaling setup, you need to set up the dynamic inventory to meet the requirement. Okay, so this is very important, guys, because if you're going to use the dynamic inventory and you are working on the AWS, you must have to go with this dynamic inventory setup in your Ansible. So what happens in this scenario, the static inventory solution will not work. So what we have to do, by default, the Ansible provides static inventory under etc Ansible host. So we all know about this path, right? That is the static inventory. Now, if your Ansible inventory fluctuates over time with hosts, okay, sorry, that is the same thing I think I repeated. Good. Let's see this example of the static inventory. Okay. Now, what will happen? Let me just play this slide. Okay. So this is the static inventory. Okay. So if you see here, we have the host list like etc Ansible host, and these are the servers. These are the servers will be added with respective, suppose DB server will be there and the web server will be there. Okay, this is the static inventory, which is we keep in the host. But in case you need that to be automatically changes, then you have to go with dynamic inventory with AWS EC2 module, AWS underscore EC2 module. So what happens here, if the server increases, like we have suppose 2 or 3 servers and the list is there, what will happen? It will automatically keep added here. But in case of static inventory, what you have to do, you have to just change the one, right? What you have to do, you have to, in this case, what you have to do, whenever you add any server, you have to go to the file and just edit it with respect to this. But here in dynamic inventory, it will automatically get added whenever you or the auto scaling group spin up or spin down any servers. Okay, so It's very simple to do the setups. Okay, I'll share those commands and I'll show you this example also. So here is the commands and how you have to do this one. Okay, and for that, what we have to do, we have to simply use this plugin AWS underscore EC2. Okay, suppose if you go to the Ansible things, right? If you go to this Ansible documentations and you'll find AWS underscore EC2. Okay, AWS ending inventory source. Go to this documentation page and here is the details for AWS. There are lots of things and they have given the examples also. You have to follow this example to find out the details and how to use this inventory file. So now, if I go here, there is some prerequisites. Okay, see here what happens. This inventory plugin is part of the Amazon.aws collection. Okay, this is it. This is part of the Amazon AWS collection. Okay, you might already have this collection installed if you are using Ansible package. If it is not included in Ansible core, then you have to just install it using Ansible Galaxy collection install. So by default, what happens? Sometimes your Amazon AWS with the package it should come. Okay, if it is not there, okay, you can just use this command to check whether this collection or the package with this Ansible Galaxy. So Jyoti, whatever you were asking, right? Ansible Galaxy, see here we are going to use this Ansible plugin Amazon.aws, which is a third party or the vendor's third party plugin, that is AWS, and it is verified, it is professional. So it is good and safe to be used in your project. Okay, so it is safe and good to be used in your project. Now, if I go here and let me just use this command Ansible Galaxy collection list. Okay, invalid choice -u list. So let's see what is that. Ansible Galaxy collection list. Now let me make myself as sudo. Okay. Now let's execute it again. Okay. So what it says, Ansible Galaxy, it says collection action invalid choice list, choose from init, build, or install. It means Galaxy collection is not installed here. What we have to do, we have to use this command to install first. Let's install this. Okay. Let's install this. Okay, so here you can see here the collection has been added. Okay, now if I go and check this Ansible collection list, let's see, it will list out. Okay, still it is having some issues. Collection hyphen H, collection hyphen H. Okay. Okay, this is either init initialize new collection with the base structure of a collection. So first, what you have to do, if you give this help option, it will give you to show what the commands you have to execute. So now let me just init. What is this? Okay, let it be there. So what do you have to do now? Okay, you need further requirements to be able to use this inventory plugin. So what is the requirement? let's see this plugin requirement. Okay. So you have to follow this page with all the requirements. Anyway, the requirements are there here in the below. See, the below requirements are needed to be in the local controller node. That means in the Ansible node, we should have Python version more than 3. We should have Python version more than 3. So let's check what is the Python being installed here. So it is 2.7. Python version 2.7 is installed. So what do you do here? Let me just install the Python 3. Okay. So what we can do, we can use yum install Python 3. Okay, Python 3 is now installed. So if I do Python, okay, both Python 2 and Python 3 will be available now. Okay. If I do Python, it's just giving us 2.7. Okay, I think we should have give Python 3. So it gives us Python 3.7, the latest version of Python 3. Okay, so what it says, we should have Python 3.6 greater than 3.6 would be there. Python 3.7 or 3.6 would be there. And Boto 3, and to use this AWS collection, right? Imagine AWS collection, you should have this requirement, this particular more plugins should be installed. Okay, packages, Boto 3 and Boto Core. Now, if I see this Boto 3 and Boto Core, let's see whether we have this Boto 3, Boto 3 not found. Okay. So what we can do now, we have to install this Boto 3. To install this Boto 3, we have to use the pip module. We have to use the pip module. Okay. So let's close this one. So we have to use the pip module. So let me show you how you have to use this pip module. And I think I would have installed this pip module here. Command not found. Pip3. Yes, pip3 is installed. Okay. As part of this Python 3 package, pip3 is installed already. So what I can do using pip3, I can use Boto 3 in my machine, right? So what I can do here, let me clear this one. Use pip3. Do you have guys any doubt? Nobody asking any question. So pip3 is a package, Python package manager. Okay. Any Python related softwares, if you want to install, you have to use pip3 or pip. Pip is for Python 2, pip3 is for Python 3. Remember this? And for any packages, Python related software or Python related packages, if you're going to install on your machine, you have to use pip package manager, Python package manager. Okay, normally yum will not work. So what I'm going to do here, Python pip3 install and Boto 3. Okay, enter. Okay, so what happens? It says pip3 install issue instead. Okay, Boto 3 requirement already satisfied. Okay, so Boto 3 is already being installed. So if you go here, okay, go to this particular path, all list of the packages. Yes, we have this Boto 3 installed already. July 28 is already being installed. Now what I can Boto 3 and Boto Core, see, both are installed. Boto 3 1.24, Boto Core 1.27. If you go and check the requirement, it matches everything. Okay, Boto 3 and Boto Core. So once this is satisfied, right, everything the requirement comes, then we can go ahead and use this particular.
Sir, Boto 3 and Boto Core is a dependency or anything else?
It's actually dependency for the AWS plugin. But the thing is, when you install Boto 3, it will automatically download and install Boto Core for you also. You don't have to separately install Boto Core. Once you install Boto 3, it will be automatically get installed the Boto Core also. You just try once and you'll see both things will get installed. Okay. And once until install, you can go ahead in this to this particular path, like local Python bin and then site packages under this Python 3.7 module name Python 3.7. You'll find the site packages, and there you'll see the packages for the Python. See all these packages. Okay. So Jyoti, you're okay with this, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So what you can do now, all these things installed. To use this Python module, you have to follow the examples, whatever they have given it here. See. So what you can do here, you have to simply use this plugin AWS_EC2. And here, if you see the plugin, it is being used AWS_EC2 regions US-East 1. And you have to use the different ways. How you have to find it, the plugin details. Okay. Now, if I'm going to use this particular plugins, how it will be look like. Okay. Guys, I'm getting call 1 second. Yeah. So what we can do, we can easily use this plugin AWS_EC2 and the region. What it will do, what it does, it just fetch all hosts in US East 1. That means whenever you're going to use this one, you must have set off your profiles on that particular server. Okay, so once you set up your profile based on the account you're going to use, it will fetch all the running machines, all the server details into the dynamic host, into the host list. Okay, so you can use in a different way. Here is one example. It's a simple one example to use this one. Another example they have given using filter options. We have also filter options, which filter you can use to particularly fetch the servers. Like you might have a few development server, right? You might have few staging server, you might have few production server. Based on that, you can set up the filter, and then you can use this particular part. Now, this is very simple way to use. You don't have to be, go in depth on anything. It's very simple. All the details are available with multiple examples. Okay, so there will be a steps where you have to just simply copy these examples and use it. Now, let me go ahead and show you how we can use this. etc. Okay. So what if this particular Ansible, okay, let me just go to this Ansible CH. If I go to this Ansible CFG, there will be a path, the plugin, if you search for plugin, right? In this plugins area, you will see, okay, let me search for AWS underscore EC2. Yes. So what happens here, this enable plugin, right? You will see here the inventory section will have this enable plugins equal to the list, host list you have to provide. So what happened here, I have just used this plugin enable underscore plugins here, enable underscore plugin. So what you have to do, you have to just C2, then you can just uncomment this particular line. For me, I had already added this line, so that's why it was there. For you, this line will not be there. So what you have to do, you have to write, or you have to remove this particular part, and you have to add the plugin name AWS underscore EC2 here. Okay, it is pretty simple. Now let's save this file, Ansible configurations file. Okay, now if it is saved, if you execute any playbook, so how will execute this playbook? Let me go to cd home situ hyphen user. Okay, so we'll have here, I'll show you this dynamic inventory demo. Okay, so Ansible dynamic inventory. Okay, it's not there here. So it's not here. 1 second. Okay, so what do you have to do just now? Let me just grave AWS underscore situ. Okay. Okay, so it is there only here. AWS situ. Okay. So if you go to this Ansible dynamic inventory part, you'll go down, you'll see how it will be there one where how you can use this one. Okay. I just, 1 second. Simple parameters, examples, synopsis. There will be one option will be there. Okay, 1 second. I have collected something here. Just give me a second. From dynamic inventory, I think here. Okay. This is the same thing I have written it here. Okay, fine. So what do you have to do here? Okay. So you have to use Ansible underscore inventory. You have to use Ansible underscore inventory. So if I just go ahead Ansible underscore inventory, okay, search for Ansible underscore inventory, you will find Ansible underscore inventory. It's not here. Okay, it's not giving it here. So if I just go to Ansible, that should be a command list, right? In the documentation page. Okay, you can find it out. But now, so once you install this Ansible inventory list, right? Ansible, all these details. Now, what you have to do, you have to simply use the Ansible inventory command, right? Ansible hyphen inventory. So if you see here, it will give you how you have to use the Ansible inventory. You have to provide all these informations whenever you are going to use it. Hyphen Y inventory. Okay, so you have to pass this hyphen I inventory details. So we don't have to specify the host in the anything in the host. You have to create a inventory file name. You have to create a file name with aws underscore ec2.yaml. The file name should be aws underscore ec2.yaml. So there is already, I had done a small project there. It is already there in OPT folder. Okay. If I go to this OPT folder, you should have this. Okay, let me go to this AWS. It will have all these, okay, modules and AWS softwares and everything will be there, right? Now let me go back. If I do Ansible, okay, here, inventory. So what happened here? I have kept this file under OPT Ansible inventory here. It's up to you where you have to keep. It's not like that you have to follow this naming conventions or that. You can simply put your OPT and it should be your project directory where you are going to keep it. So whenever you are keeping this file, you make sure, right? You make sure the same things being used while executing the AWS underscore ec2 YAML file. Either it will be YAML or .yaml file. So if we just do and check this file, see, I have simply used this plugin. So how you can use this particular path, you can use, suppose Ansible inventory, okay, inventory, and provide the, so how to use this one. Okay, so you have to provide the list. You have to provide that particular list. You have to use this command. Let me use. So what happens here? As I said here, you have to use this particular options here are actions what you need. If you have to use pass this argument hyphen list, what it will do, it will output all host informations work as inventory script. So if I hit enter, what it says, the EC2 dynamic inventory plugins requires Boto 3 and Boto core to be installed. That means it is using Python 2 and it is not able to find Boto 3 and Boto core. So what we have to do now, simply go to the now we have given this in the wrong path, right? We have given this in the wrong path where it is our EC2 AWS underscore EC2 does not exist here, right? So what we can do, simply here, hyphen paste. Let's check. Login requires Boto 3 and Boto core. So Jyoti, I believe you are also getting the same error.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Boto 3 and Boto core. Did it fix? How did you fix it?
Sir, by just
Okay. What do you have to do? Let me first check whether we are using Python module 1 or sorry 2 or 3. First, let me check here. Python. It does not give any Python versions. Okay. Second.
sir, by these comments, sir, sudo update hyphen alternative hyphen config Python.
So that means you are going to change this Python 3, Python 2 to Python 3 to use it, right? Just ping me that
sir.
command. So guys, whenever you just remember, make sure that you are using the correct versions of Python, okay? Otherwise it will throw error. So Ansible is totally written in Python's module only. It's totally written and developed in Python program. Everything you are going to use will be used by the Python packages and all, okay? So what happens, the same things actually Jyoti and Mansur were discussing. He was getting this kind of error initially when he was updating and working one of the AWS module. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to just simply use these update alternatives. It is not only for Python, it will be used for even for Java also, right? Even if you're going to update your Java also, then you have to, suppose Java 8 you are using and you want to update to Java 11, and your machine will have suppose multiple packages, Java 8, Java 11, or Java 9, or anything is available. You want to select any particular package, then you have to use this particular command. Update alternatives, hyphen config, and the package name. Okay, so what happens here? The Python, if you just use this one, okay, I don't need sudo here because I already have under sudo. So here what I can do, use Python 3. Okay, so if I use Python, let's see, and again it is normally it should not be the case, right?
Sir, actually, I had follow this documentation, sir.
It's okay. Let me just.
Sir, I just ping this documentation link.
Okay, we'll just follow that one. Okay. Now let me execute one. So once we have done this, let me just execute this particular link. Still having this login requires Boto 3 and Boto 4. You got this error from the Stack Overflow. That's fine. That's super. Okay, guys. In case of this, right? Whatever Jyoti has done is really good. He has just got it from. Anyway, most of you must aware about the Stack Overflow or any error you're getting from the Google. You can find it and you can fix it. This is how you have to do all the time whenever you are working as a DevOps engineer. There will be lots of breaks, lots of errors you'll get, and you have to find it yourself and fix it. Okay, now anyway, on this plugin Boto 3 and Boto, I'll just have a look because it was never getting this kind of issues before. And this already, because we can see this Boto 3 and Boto is already there, but still it is not working. Okay, so normally it should show this one, but it is not. Alternatives remove. Okay, so we can remove Python 1 alternatives. It is giving the list for all the Java related thing only. Just Python. Display. Nothing there. Okay, so it's not working. Anyway, we'll just try to set up this one. Okay, we'll follow later, and I'll see if it is working or
Sir,
not.
sir,
Yeah,
actually,
Jyoti.
I'm yeah, sir, I just pinged the link of the process. Actually, before that, we have to do some extra process.
Okay, let me do this changes then. 1 second. So what is Sage? Accept all cookies. So what is Sage? Install user bin Python and Python 3.7. It's already there, right?
Yes, sir, first two command, first we have to execute.
No, first, yeah, I understand this, but I don't need this. Okay, let me check this one. First, you have to add to the list and then you have to update it, right? First, you have to
Yes,
install these
yes, sir.
alternatives. Okay, because I don't have this Python alternatives added. I had only the Java things added. If you go and check, only it was displaying the list of Javas. Java was there, but Python is not added to the list. So yes, so we can do hyphen install. Okay. So what is given? Install and the path. They have given the complete path. Guys, keep this link handy. You may have encountered these things, whatever we are currently facing, right? Then you have to follow this one. Just bookmark this link, whatever Jyoti has pinged in the group chat. Okay, so that it will be used for the error if you are facing. So for my case, it will be 3.73, not 3.5. Okay, so hit enter. Now, if I just do alternative list, it should give us, yeah. So Python and Python 3.7, right? Now, if I just go ahead and do hyphen config and then Python, it should show us this list. Now, our Python 3.7 is, so if you see here star mark, right? Selection 1 and 2, the star mark, that means Python 3.7 is currently selected. Okay, now I don't need anything. Let me just come out from this list. And if I execute the command, right? If I execute the command now, what is that? Ansible inventory. Then the file name, it was AWS underscore situ YAML hyphen list. Then it should work, but still it is not working. Update alternatives. Sudo update alternatives hyphen config. There are two choices. Okay, enter hyphen p. That should be. If I do Python. Yeah, let's giving 3.7. Both of 3 hyphen. Both of the command, it will not be directly can be used. Fine. Okay, there. But it was not long before I realized it, and you have to go and install lots of things. Okay, so what I can do here, let me change these things and let me just change something here. Instead of config Python, only Python, let me add Python 3.7. It is not displaying right. Okay, guys. So You just try whatever we have covered so far. Normally, this kind of errors will not come, but if it is coming, then we have to check whether the Python 3.7 is installed or not and something. Try to fix it as per that. Okay. And so once you do that, yeah, when we execute Ansible, the inventory command, right? Ansible, the inventory command, AWS underscore EC2 with this YAML file and -f list, it should give us the result, like what are the servers being installed with, what are the servers being available dynamically on the EC2 server on AWS. Okay, so you have to use this Ansible inventory. The first thing and the more and basic things is to understand how the inventory dynamic inventory works with AWS underscore EC2 plugin. Okay, so we are clear with that. Now let's move on to the Ansible project, and we'll combine everything. Okay, we'll combine everything and put it in one project where we'll see how the Ansible project we can do that. So I have just opened one. We have two projects we're going to do. One project I'll show you, another project I will share with you, and you have to do by yourself, and we'll discuss further on that. Okay, so let's see about this project, what we are going to do. Let me just explain about this project. What we are doing here. The first thing is, let me delete this two. Just is not okay. Anyway, just ignore these two files. Okay, what will happen here under the roles? You know how to create the roles. I have two roles. One is the MySQL, another one is the Tomcat. Okay, so if I go to the Tomcat, under Tomcat we have the task, and here we'll have the main.yaml file. We'll have the main.yaml file. Similarly, in MySQL also we'll have this task. Under this task also we'll have main.yaml file. If I just open this main.yaml file, we'll have this particular details available here. Okay, so we'll have the complete details which we already have seen for MySQL installations. Okay, this is the place, this is the main play which to download the MySQL community by using the get underscore URL module, by using the get underscore URL module or plugin. Now you know how to use this get underscore URL. So it is simply downloading the package. After that, what it does, it is installing it. So how to install? In Linux, we use yum module to install the packages. You can use name equal to MySQL-server and then present, it will just install it. Similarly, it is required to install MySQL Python. Require MySQL Python to work the database with the database. Okay. After that, they're just using this MySQL DB module to remove the test database. Normally, what happens when you install MySQL, it will have by default a test database created. So you don't need the test database to be there, right, in a company. So what you can do, you can just remove it by using this MySQL DB module. So once the MySQL DB module is done, what you have to do, we have to change the root password. You can change the root password. And you know what all this, right? These are the variables which are being called and injected through the Jinja template here. So I'll show you where these variables been declared. Okay, where these variables being declared. Now, if I see here, similarly, we have create database. To create any database or interact with the database, we need the user ID and password of that respective database. We'll have this db underscore name. Okay, so what I'll say here, after we create the database, we are copying a dump file. So DB dump, you must know or heard about that. Most of you, I think, heard about a DB dump, which contains the complete dump, means complete table record, complete records of that particular database, right? It's kind of a backup whenever you are doing any migrations or any upgrade to your database. Normally, your manager or your team must say you like take a DB dump first, right? We take a DB dump first and then migrate anything to the database. So dump is nothing but your backup of your database. You are exporting everything from a file. So in our case, the dump file is being created as DevOps class.sql, and it is kept under etc Ansible DB. Okay, so if I just open the DB here, DB folder, I've kept in the DB folder, I have kept one DevOps class.sql file. So this file contains all the table, which is called create table user, with the normal create statement, right? Database SQL create statement here. Table one to create table user ID, first name, last name, email, user ID, all these details being available here. Now, this is what the database things does, right? So once it will be, so we are going to copy this one to the temp directory of the server where we have installed the database, and there we are restoring the DOM file under this temp. So how you use this MySQL DB module and MySQL user module? Let me show you. So if I go to the things here and search for MySQL DB, it will be there under MySQL community. See, community.mysql. If I go to this particular page, you'll find, and there will be lots of communities in here, guys. Collections, right? Collection community with the namespace. We'll have community AWS, Azure, crypto, the cryptocurrency, right? The crypto things, your digital ocean, and Google, Grafana, Massive Vault, and all these details are there. MongoDB, lots of things are there. PostgreSQL, right? PostgreSQL, VMware, Windows, right? Everything you will find it here. Now we are focusing on this MySQL. Now, if I go to this plugin details, we'll have, see, these are the module, MySQL DB module, MySQL info module, query, role, user, variables, all modules, and the usage also you can find it here. Suppose I'm working on this MySQL DB module, right? Go to this MySQL DB module here, and we'll find the requirements. What are the things is required for this particular list to use? Okay, it is required MySQL DB Python, yes, and all these things are required. Good, good. Okay, now what will happen here? We are going to use this particular, make sure these things be there, and that is where, if you see the things, right, if you see these things, we'll have those particular prerequisites been installed with this MySQL Python package. Okay, so that is all about the database module and database MySQL setup. Similarly, if you're working on different database like Rabbit, sorry, Proxy SQL or PostgreSQL, so you can use those particular module to work on that. Okay, now, so this MySQL things are done now. If I go to the Tomcat playbook, here you'll find, so for Tomcat server, what do we need? So guys, how you have to write the playbook, first you have to understand it. If you completely understand what is your requirement and how you have to write, that's done. It is nothing, it's just simple instructions. You are going to put it in one file with proper intent, right? So what happens here? It is simple play or simple task we have written it here. The first task is the install Java. You need to understand your project. What is your project and what is the requirement? If you understand clearly, it will be useful for you to work on that. So what will happen? You have to first use this Tomcat server, okay, to use this Tomcat server. So what is this Tomcat server actually? It is Apache Tomcat server, the web server, which will host your Java-based application, Java-based web application. Okay, you can use that server to host your Java-based web application. Using this Tomcat server, you must install Java in that particular machine. That's why we have installed Java. And then you need to create a group or username as Tomcat using the group module. Here with using the yum module, I installed this Java 8 package. Okay, after that, what we did, we used this to create user and group by using the user module and group module. Then simple, using get URL, we downloaded the Tomcat server, and using the command module, you extracted these things to there. And using this file module, guys, you have to go with maximum modules to understand how it works. So if you don't know, based on a requirement, suppose your requirement is to extract after download. So let me explain you how you can write the YAML file based on a requirement. Okay, so the first thing is the requirement. Suppose I'll start from here. You need to download a package. Then you have to find how to download the package. Then you can go to the Ansible module page, and there you have to find which module will be used to download the file. So you'll find the get URL module. So after you download it, then the requirement is to archive. You'll download the archive file, right? The tar file, the compressed file. You have to uncompress it. You have to untar it, right? So how you'll do that? By using the command module, you have to execute that particular tar command to extract from the archive file. Very simple, right? Based on your requirement. So after you extracted the file, you need to create a symbolic link, or you have to suppose copy that particular one to a different file. You can either use copy here or file. So for file, I just created a symbolic link here. And similarly, after that, suppose you want to change the ownership. Change this ownership of this one. And then simply use the copy command to copy this particular file from the directory to the destination here, to the Tomcat server. And then restarted the Tomcat server by using the shell command. So this is very basic and simple things related to Java and Tomcat. So this is how you have to write from other requirement also. Okay, so once it is done, what you can do, you can just execute the playbook. So our playbook may not work because we must need this login webapp.war file available to deploy this particular web server. So our login.webapp may not be available on this folder. This is totally a different path. And also we have not received this login webapp. So where we'll get this login webapp.war file? From the Jenkins server. From the Jenkins server. Now we need to understand how we'll find this file. I'll show you two ways. One time we'll copy this particular file. Okay, so if I go to our Jenkins server, let me just log into our Jenkins server. Okay, in our last project we had built this particular file, right? So I'll quickly go to the Jenkins folder. Jenkins start. Okay, I'm just going to connect. Okay, so I connected to my Jenkins server now. So if I go to the workspace, right? So where it will be var leaf Jenkins, I think. Yes. So here we'll find our workspace, right? So where the, yeah, we have our CG workspace. And in this workspace, we'll have this particular login web app project, right? So let's go to this project. And here we'll have this target folder. Yes, we'll have this target folder. Okay, now this login web app dot work should be copied to this particular path to execute this. So what we can do, simply copy this particular one. So let me copy this to the server, right? So what I have to do, I have to just use SCP. And before using this, there should be a connectivity setup between these two servers, right? With this Ansible, I believe there will be the server connectivity will be there, but let me just use this one. I can use ec2-user at the rate and just provide the IP address of the Ansible server. From there, I'm going to copy, right? Then there is no connectivity setup to copy this one. Fine. So it will take some time to do the setups to get a connectivity. But before that, let me just explain you the rest of the things. Okay, now what do you need? We need this login web app var to copy to the particular server to work with the Tomcat server. Now what we'll do here, this role part is over, right? You have to write this. I'll just share this project in my GitHub and you can download it and start working. So with these two roles, right, we'll have a site.yaml file which should contains the details, right? It should contains the details. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to simply show you the variables, right? If you see these variables, whatever the variables we used here, where to express these variables. So if you go to the variable page, whatever the things I had said with you, if you see there, we can use variables in different ways. So one way is by keeping these variables in group underscore vars. So this group underscore var is nothing but your global variable path. Whatever vars you declare here, it will globally with all the playbooks. You can accept, you can declare the variables. Okay, you can use that variables in all the playbooks. So how you'll put it here? So db underscore user, db underscore password. If I go and check this one, right? If I go and check this particular vars file, see we have this db underscore name, db underscore user, and db underscore password. And here again, this db underscore password has also been put in a variable with a variable name and bulk underscore db underscore pass. Vault underscore db underscore pass.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, this VARS folder is inside the DB folder or?
No. It is not inside the DB folder. Okay. So let me.
DB role.
No. Let me just show you. Okay. Let me show you here itself. Okay. That will be a little confusing then. So if I go to etc Ansible here, in this Ansible folder, I have kept as group vars. Remember, this group var should be kept under etc Ansible folder, under this etc/Ansible folder. Okay, this group var should be there. If I go to this group var folder, I'll have another folder called all, another directory called all, cd all. And here you have to put the file name as vars. And this is the exact naming conventions how you have to put it, vars. Okay, so if I do cat vars here, see, all these things are available, not under the db folder. Db folder I have kept only the DOM file, database related DOM file. It is nothing. It's not related to anything with Ansible defaults. Okay, I added it to myself, so you can rename it to your own name or anything. Okay, but this group was, yeah.
Sir, this group underscore var file, how to create, means mkdir or anything else command?
Yeah, you have to simply use mkdir to create the folder. Okay, you have to simply use this mkdir to create the folder. Okay, let me just remove everything and recreate it. Okay. Now what do you have to do? Let me just remove im hyphen. So I removed this group vars file. So you can simply create group underscore vars. So now our file is group underscore vars created. Okay. Now let's go inside to this. Nothing will be there because newly folder or dog directory created. Let's created one file folder called all. Okay. We created one folder called all. Go to this folder. Okay. So here we have to create a file name called as vars. This is the actual naming convention. You cannot change it. Okay. If you change it, it will not work, and then you have to do extra setups to achieve that. So now I created vi vars, and here you have to put the db underscore. Let me copy those things. Okay. So you have to use db name and db user. All these things you have to put it there. Got it? So db underscore name, db underscore user, and the db underscore password. So here you can simply use, okay, if you are not using Vault, you can simply use the db password name. You can simply use the plain text, which is visible to the normalize, right? So to encrypt that, to make your sensitive information secure, you have to use the Ansible Vault. So that's why I have kept this password here. Okay. Now let's undo this one. Let me save it. Now, how to create this one first thing? How to create this one? Now, if I use, I had already shown you, right? So you have to use Ansible Vault command. Ansible Vault create. Okay, create, and just create vault name is, suppose I'll give us vault. Ansible vault create dot, hit enter. So here you have to put the variable name. Here you have to put the variable name. Okay. Now, what is the variable name? So this is what the vault db pass, right? This is the variable name. We're going to pass it here. Now, and here we just put the actual password. Put the actual password. Suppose this is my db password. Okay, I just save it. Now save it. Okay, so what
Hello,
We did
sir.
it.
Hello.
Yeah, Jyoti.
Sir, here we have to mention the .yml or only vault means
You don't have to space. We don't have to mention any YML or anything. Simply just give the vault. Okay.
okay.
Simple give. Similarly, we have created a file name as vars. We did not specify anything. You simply create as vault only. Okay. And just give a file name with a simple name. No extension. Nothing is required. So what happened here? We created if vault password, right? If we created a vault. Now, what will happen if I go? Let me just remove that particular file. Actually, I'll show you one thing. This is actually because of the setup which is already being done. It did not ask me to set up the vault password. So whenever you create a vault, right, it will ask you to set up the vault password. It did not ask me. So I think it will be there under my less than L. Okay, I have configured as vault underscore pass. So if you just check this one, right? See, I have to set up the password here. Okay, now let me remove this particular file. I don't need. Okay, remove, yes. So I'll not have this file anymore. Now, if I go back there, okay, if I go and execute the group, if I go to the group words, right, and so the all, we have this vault is created, right? When we executed this particular part, create Ansible vault create. Let me delete it. I'll show you from the scratch again. So let me delete it. Suppose rm vault. So okay, I deleted the vault file. Will not have any vault available now. Let me execute the same command again. Ansible vault. Okay, Ansible vault, and then give the command create, then vault. The vault password again. As I deleted this particular file, okay, here is a question. If you understand, so Jyoti, you don't tell me, but I'll ask you later. Can anybody of you tell why I'm getting this error? It's not related to bot. It's related to bot, but it is relating to with another command configurations. Why we are getting this one? And from where we are fetching this particular thing? Where Ansible finding it out? Okay, so okay, what we'll see here, we are having this particular file under, if I go cd etc Ansible, we'll have this Ansible configuration file, right? And here we'll have, if I go to the vault, see, we have this vault password path is given as home ec2 dot vault pass. Okay, so here, because of this, because first, whenever we execute the vault, it is checking whether the password has been set up or not. If the password has not been set up, then it will ask you to create a password. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just comment this line. Done. Now let me execute and create vault again. See, it is just asking to add the password, the vault password. Suppose I'll give the vault password as Ranjit at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so here the vault password, DB password, you have to put it here was DB underscore vault underscore pass. This is the variable name, and you can give whatever variable name you want. It's not like you have to give DB underscore vault underscore pass. It's a variable name. It's up to your project specific variable name. You have to provide it. Suppose I'll give like my DB pass at 123, something like this. I gave it. I'll save this one. Good. Now, I set off this one in a vault. So if I go and check, our vault file will be created now. Sorry, it is created here. And normally it should be under the vards file, right? So I can move this one and the vault to group vards. You should create under this group vards, okay? So I moved this to group vards. Now if I go there, see the vault is there. And if I just do cat vault, see, it is encrypted. It is encrypted, right? We cannot see the password which we stored under this vault. You cannot just open it. So how you will see and edit the password? You can simply use Ansible vault, right? Edit. Okay. So without edit, if you want to check it, you can just use VIEW, view vault, to check the password, the database password, whatever you have saved under vault. Hit enter, and it will ask the vault password. The password which is you store under this is not the password. The password which you gave while creating the vault, you have to provide it here. So I'll give as, see, now I can simply view the password what is kept under vault. So this is I already have said these commands, right? Vault commands with you. So you can use this view to check this password. If you want to, suppose tomorrow change this password, you can simply use Ansible vault edit, and the vault, it will just edit it. Now what happens when I use Ansible view vault, it asked me to provide the vault password. It asked me to provide the vault password. So to avoid these things, right, not to ask the password again, what we can do, we can add the password in a hidden file, because the password should be, again, you have to keep it in a hidden file, the vault password, okay, not the database password, not this password. We should have provided the vault password. You should keep in a secret directory. So it should be always into your home directory or anywhere you feel it is secret. It is safe, right? Safe. Now I can go to my home directory, and there I can create one hidden file. Anything starts with dot is hidden in Linux, right? So I'll create like as vault underscore pass. Okay, just put it here, and I have to just write the password, right? You have to just write the password. Okay, so what was the password? It was written. Second, let me. What was the password? It was written. I deleted, right, that file. Okay, it was something like this given. Now let's use this one and provide the, what was the password I had given? Okay, this is the password I have given. Okay, Now save it. Saved. So once you save this password in particular path, what you have to do, you have to configure these things in the ansible.configuration file. Okay, so you have to go to etc ansible and open this file, and here this particular line you have to add it. Vault password file equal to provide the path where you have kept your vault password. Okay, now I just need to uncomment this particular line. Make sure you just keep this a hidden file so that it will not be visible to our eyes. Now done, our things have been added. Now, if I go ahead and check this, use this particular command to view the vault password, view the database password, right? Okay, it is not here. The file is under group vars. Okay. Okay. So if I use now, it will not ask me any password. See, it did not prompt me for the password, because the password to view this database password, which is under this vault, the key I have kept under this vault pass, and this has been configured under this one. So now you know how to set up this one, because this vault setup is little confidential and secret. You have to do that. So once you did the setups, it will automatically work. This is how you have to set up and work on the vault. Now, once you set up the vault and database password, okay, now the db underscore vault, whatever the variable you have set up here, the same thing you have to update in here in the vi vars. So here vault underscore db underscore pass, right? So you have to use, sorry, you have to use the variable whatever we have given in the vault file. So you have to put it. So what was that? DB vault pass, right? DB vault pass. So you have to update, not vault DB pass. It is DB vault pass. I gave is a different word, DB vault pass. Okay. So put the variable name it as DB vault pass. Okay, and make sure there's not an extra space here. Then you have to add like this, and this DB password will be used in your playbooks. Then now you understood. So all the things are now done. So if I go ahead and execute the playbook, so how we'll do it? We can simply go to the roles, and there we'll execute the respective site.yaml file. So we have not set off the things yet. So what we'll do, we'll set off the, okay, anyway, our UI and db.yaml is still here. So we have this UI folder, we have this db folder, and we have separate sites.yaml being set off here to separate the roles. Okay, now if you want to execute anything, it will automatically get and get the password, db password, and start working on it. Okay, guys, that's all for today's class, and maybe in tomorrow classes we'll go and check for other. This will complete this project, okay, and then what we'll do, we'll go ahead and do that project what we had left for dynamic inventory, right, with our file kept in the S3 bucket, right? Ansible S3, how we'll do Ansible S3 configurations. Okay, we'll see that one. And that time it is required, the Boto3 and all these things are required. So we have to do that. Okay, that's all, guys, for today's class. We'll meet up tomorrow at the same time. Okay.